Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi. Higurashi When They Cry, Ch.2 Watanagashi. Last episode, we met Shion, and now everyone's doing a curry competition. Neato. Alright, so, we're gonna immediately go into spoiler time as I grab a mint, because I want a mint. So, don't judge. Why would anyone judge me for taking a mint? Anyways, same usual rules apply to spoiler time. When I go back over to menu, you can unmute. But I'm gonna be talking about the, new anime, not about spoilers that happen later in the visual novel, because the anime is pretty different so far. But, yeah, beginning now. Okay. So, I've seen episode 3 already. I'm recording this on the same day that it went up. I usually watch anime, like, in the evening or something while I record during the afternoon-ish. But because, the alternative... My brain's fried. Sorry. What am I trying to say? Let's just think this through. Okay, so I watched the I watched the new episode of the anime earlier in the day because it comes out pretty early during the day. So I was prepared to talk about it in this episode. That was easy enough to say. I'm just stupid. Because the alternative would be if I waited until the evening to watch it and record this first. You guys would have to wait till Sunday to hear my thoughts on it, and that's kinda shitty. Like, it's already bad enough that every other week I'm not able to talk about it until Saturday, so the least I can do is talk about it on a Friday episode, because this should be going up on a Friday. So, yeah, time to talk about the new episode. There wasn't really that much completely different from... at least as far as the anime goes so far, compared to episode 1 and 2. Because episode 1 already, like, hinted at Rika being something else. And then episode 2 was just like, hey, Rika is in a fucking time loop. And here's this girl named Hanyu. So, yeah. While episode 3 did nothing like that. In fact, I don't think Rika said a single fucking thing that entire episode. It focused more on the same old Onikakushi story. Keiichi met Oishi and crap like that. It was the end of the festival and stuff like that too. However, there were some key differences. For one, Keiichi did not talk to Tomitake and Takano at the river. Instead, he saw them and was just like, I'm not gonna interrupt them. And he left. So, that's very interesting. It still seems like it's taking the same course of Onikakushi, even though it's technically, by all means, a different arc. But I am interested about one thing regarding how Keiichi did not talk to them at the river, but I'll say that after listing off the rest of the differences. He met Oishi, and instead of Oishi telling Keiichi that Tomitake's dead and Takano's missing, with Keiichi obviously making the connection in his head that this is just like the curse that Tomitake and Takano told me about last night. Well, he didn't know Takano's name, but still. They said that both Tomitake and Takano went missing. They did not say that Tomitake was dead. So that's interesting, too. That is very weird. So, that's definitely a very strange thing for them to change, but I'm interested to see how it's going to be changed, how that's going to play into the future. The last major difference that I can really think of, it's actually more of a minor difference, but still a difference nonetheless. The episode actually had Keiichi go to Angel Mort with Oishi before Rena's outburst. So that's interesting because I know in the visual novel, and I don't know if this was the case in the original anime, But I know that, obviously, in the visual novel, Rena's outburst happens before Keiichi and Oishi go to the restaurant. In fact, Keiichi also had his phone call with Oishi after the restaurant instead of before. I'm pretty sure the phone call was before the restaurant in the visual novel. I can't remember, even though it was only a couple weeks ago that I read it. So, that's fun. Part of me was hoping that they weren't going to make Rena and Mion quite as creepy in the anime, and that it would instead take a completely different course. Because Keiichi already had a flashback to, he already had a, well, not a flashback, a flash forward, I guess, to him killing Rena and Mion at the end of Onikakushi. So, yeah. I don't know exactly what that implies for how this arc's gonna go. As if that's something that's already happened, technically. Which, yeah, technically it has, because Onikakushi was a different world that Rika had already experienced. So this is a new world, but I don't think the main characters have memories of the previous arcs, other than Rika and Hanyu, by extension, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe they did, I don't remember if they ever did, but yeah. If they do, then Keiichi flashed back to Onikakushi. If he doesn't, if they don't, then for some reason he had a premonition of the future. So that's weird. This was in episode 2, by the way, him flashing forward or backwards to killing Rena and Mion. So this was not in the new episode, but I'm just trying to, like, theory craft here, I guess. Not much to really talk about so far, even though I've already been talking for like 7 minutes. So, my main concern... Okay, no, I remember what I was talking about before. I was hoping that they were going to take a completely different approach to how Keiichi goes insane, and that he would actually trust Rena and Mion a bit more. Because it seemed like throughout the episode that Oishi was putting him more on edge than Rena or Mion had at all up to that point. I mean, Rena and Mion, of course, had, like, a couple moments with a change in demeanor, which is obviously Keiichi's own distorted perspective. But I was hoping that there'd be a little bit more trust to break this time, but no, it's still the same exact amount. Because there was actually one part while they were in Angel Mort that Keiichi was obviously talking to Oishi, and Oishi said something, and, like, his face got shrouded in darkness a little bit. I don't know if that was a visual gag, or if that was meant to be implicative? I don't know. Regardless, my main concern right now is how the arc's going to end. Because with how everything's been going on, I still think most of the other story beats for Onikakushi could happen. Of course, Tomitake being missing instead of dead doesn't really change all that much in the grand scheme of things, because Keiichi will still suspect his friends for being the cause of Tomitake and Takano going missing. So, yeah. So I think the mochi scene will still happen. The scene with Rena at the door will still happen. The scene in the rain will still happen. The truck will probably still happen. Keiichi will probably still start swinging around a bat and everything. So what I'm mostly concerned about is the end of the arc, with Keiichi killing Mion and Rena. Because the final straw, I guess, for insane Keiichi before he kills Rena and Mion is Mion pulling out a marker, which he views as a syringe, and she says, "We're gonna do to you what we did to Tomitake," which is draw on his shirt. But that did not happen this time. At all. They did not draw on Tomitake's shirt, unless I'm forgetting something. They might have in episode 2. I can't remember. I don't think they did. Like, they talked to Tomitake a little bit, but they didn't play any games with him, if I recall correctly. Maybe they did? I really don't think they did, though. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But if that indeed did not happen and they did not draw on his shirt, then what would cause Keiichi at the very end to fully snap, black out, and kill Rena and Mion? What would cause that? Because as of now, it would have to be something different, or it just won't happen. That is possible. What if it ends with Keiichi actually getting hit by that truck? Because I don't remember the affiliation of that truck. Honestly, I don't remember it at all. But, yeah. So, oh, another thing I was kind of hoping for was, Shion does not appear in Onikakushi. So I wasn't sure if, since they went to Angel Mort, if she was going to appear in Oni Damashi, you know? So, yeah. Anyways, let's just get back into this. Almost forgot. Welcome back. Time to read. They're still doing the curry stuff because I ended in a pretty awkward spot last episode, so, yeah. The judges, seemingly growing tired of sampling the various curries, were debating each entry. From what little I overheard, it seemed that Mion's impending victory was not in question. By the way, what happened to Mayabara-kun's curry? I still haven't tried it yet. Yeah, the pot with my curry in it fell over. Is that so? That's a real shame. I may have lost my curry, but that doesn't mean I've lost this contest. I'll have everybody singing my praises. My combative posturing had drawn the attention of all the judges. Okay. First of all, just be quiet and eat these, please. I'll listen to your complaints after that. This is my cooking! Mayabara-kun, that's... Onigiri, huh? Those are like the triangular-ish shaped rice balls, right? They're just... Are they technically called rice balls? I don't know. Whatever. The judges smiled wryly at the simple fare that was quite in contrast to the preceding bravado. Rena poured tea into the cup she had brought over from the break room. He's making a mockery of this! There, look! There's not even any filling! It's nothing more than salted onigiri! This isn't even worthy of being called a contest anymore! It's true. The amount of salt might be a bit much, but... Rena's expression told me that she thought this was a great idea, but it might still not be enough to win the match. Mayabara-san, is this really enough to make a comeback? Gentlemen, you did well. It's alright, just watch. The judges were chewing with their mouths full and sipping at the tea. Nobody was singing praises or awestruck. They were just quietly chowing down. It seems that Kei-chan has learned how to use some rather underhanded tricks. This might be difficult. What's he doing? Yeah, that's right. Rena understands that now, too. What do you mean? Why is everybody just quietly eating that much? You see, Satoko-chan, that's because the judges are actually... tired of eating curry. I thought they were going to say drugged. Nope. Because they were judges, they had to sample each and every offering. Because they were from small children, because they were made to show their appreciation, they couldn't eat just a little bit of each. Sometimes a man values the amount more than the taste. At those times, rather than rich, mind-blowing flavor, they crave simplicity. They couldn't say it out loud, but this was the tastiest thing they'd had today. I confirmed that by looking at their eyes as the judges smiled wryly. I'll praise your efforts, but today's contest was about curry. I'm not sure we can give a score to this. The teacher and the principal had folded their arms while they pondered the situation. Okay. My underlings, seeing that, saw the small glimmer of hope fade away and grew dejected. Was this little surprise just not enough? Don't give up, Kei-chan, Mion whispered quietly. That's right. If I didn't push here... No. I'll have you give it a score. If you think that curry and onigiri are really that different, you're sorely mistaken. Huh? Mayabara-kun, what are you saying? How are they the same? The principal stopped the teacher. It looked like he was giving me one final chance. The judges, having eaten their fill, quietly waited for my statement. In its homeland of India, curry is usually eaten with a type of bread called naan, isn't it? Therefore, you could say that this cuisine we call curry rice is something that we have adopted and modified. Just as the teacher said at the beginning, it's a fusion of Indian and Japanese cuisine. I know what you're trying to say, Mayabara-kun, but what does that have to do with onigiri? It's actually very simple. Both curry and onigiri are things made to let you enjoy eating rice. Okay. Rice was introduced to Japan from ancient China. Our agricultural forebears watered the fields, fighting the elements, disease, and pests to grow and raise our rice-centric culture. Yes, the Japanese people have formulated a plethora of dishes, but those were nothing more than attempts to find ways to enjoy eating rice. In other words, curry and onigiri are both the results of rice culture! It was scattered at first, but slowly grew into a steady roar. It was a thunderous applause that praised me.
Enough with the nonsense already! I won't accept this! The teachers are only judging curry, you know? This is out of the question! It obviously deserves 0 points! Miss, Keiichi-kun did his best. Could you please acknowledge that? Today's class was supposed to be about curry. What should we do?
Mion, stifling her laughter, stepped forward.
There's a story about how when a Michelin 3-star chef from France came to Japan, the people from the hotel he was staying at had a whole bunch of ingredients imported from France. But the chef didn't even give them a second glance.
Okay.
I wonder why that was. They were ingredients from his homeland. The chef went to the local fish market and made a dish from a fresh fish caught in Japan. The culture of food isn't bound by predetermined rules. It's culture. If you come to Japan, you meld with Japanese culture and make something new. That's how curry and onigiri are the same.
Mion. She was providing fire support. I had to be grateful. The judges were somehow moved by this complicated yet baseless trivia. A stern look washed over the teacher's face as she refolded her arms.
Mayabara-kun, your pot of curry was flipped over, wasn't it? Even though I said at the beginning to be careful.
I'm sorry.
But, as Mayabara-kun and Sonozaki-san said, there are no boundaries in cuisine. If it's something that can amaze people, then it's not something that should be discriminated against just because of the form.
Then?
For spilling your pot, minus 20 points. But just for today, for not giving up and doing your best, plus 20 points. I'll give you 100 points.
Okay.
Mayabara-san! We did it!
Congrats, you just gave them super salty rice. My underclassmen leapt at me. A perfect score! We did it! We did it! The curry was spilt and our rice was taken, but we made a comeback. In the end, Rika-chan's curry also received full marks, so everybody but Rena had a perfect score. Since this contest was outside the scope of regular club activities, there wasn't any particular penalty game. Rena breathed a sigh of relief. Now then, as promised, Satoko, Rika-chan, I'll be taking your curry.
But that means we won't have any lunch!
Satoko stomped angrily at the ground in frustration, but the price of defeat was absolute. Is what I wanted to say, but I'll show you some mercy. You can eat half.
Thank you, Keiichi.
My two protégés peered over from the sidelines, tears of joy streaming from their faces. We exchanged glances that would only be understood amongst men. Okay. We did it, Mayabara-san. This is all thanks to you. We flashed each other a thumbs up. Now, I just have to give these to my pupils. I've gotten pretty hungry myself. I guess I'll have one of my onigiri. Wait, huh? There was no trace of my onigiri. The ones I had set aside for myself included. As I peered around searching for them, the principal clapped a hand on my shoulder. When I was listening to that speech you gave, the rice I was chewing grew even more delicious. Could it be that you also ate my share? Yes. The principal simply laughed without answering. Seriously? My eyes half brimming with tears and my stomach rumbling, I was called over by the teacher.
My Barakun, because of the circumstances, I had to give you a perfect score, but you understand, right?
Huh? Understand what? Ah! There was an odd glint in the teacher's eyes. If I had to describe it, it was curry-colored. Like a pot of stewing curry, her eyes whirled around in a spiral. A chill washed over me. The teacher clutched me by the shoulders and drew me in closer until our noses were almost touching.
Curry is this world's most respected and sacred of dishes. I will absolutely not allow it to be put in the same category as onigiri. You hear me? Curry was created in ancient India, one of the 4 great river valley civilizations.
I'm not reading all that. Shut up! Why are you... curry. Alright, sure. Teacher's just going frickin' McSane.
Hey, Keiichi-san! What are you stumbling about for? Cleaning up is a part of cooking, too.
Keiichi-kun, your eyes are all curried. Why is that? Why?
Curry. Okay. Yikes. She got him, huh? It's okay. He'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Probably. It wasn't that long before hunger brought me back to my senses. Great. Well, curry contest is done and over with. I don't want to hear the word curry ever again in this VN. Next time I hear curry, I'm stopping the LP. Kidding. In the end, all of the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch, I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out.
Are you alright, Keiichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Rena's curry.
Alright, the Let's Play's over. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it, is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomachache. Well, you did a good job making it through. Your absolutely hopeless situation, that is. Kei-chan, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, eh? Like you wouldn't believe. I don't need any compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? You don't keep snacks lying around at home. And I'm out of cup noodles right now. Since you're enduring that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner will be really tasty. I had absolutely no intention of laughing along. Well then, I'll take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really rough when you're not used to the work. Ah, that job at that Angel Mort family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating. How? Being a waitress really is hard work.
Huh? Mi-chan is working as a waitress? Really? Really? What kind of place is it? Huh?
No, I'm right. Working at that toy store from the other day. Shion is the waitress. Nah, my bad. I completely forgot that was how it ended up being. I'm sorry. You guys look so similar, I mixed you up.
Keiichi-kun? Who's Shion?
Rena asked the obvious question. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl.
Kei-chan?
Rena interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange.
Is that true? Rena's never met her. Mii-chan, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister?
Shion's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. I could only have her end the charade. Oh, yeah. I still haven't introduced her to you, Rena. My younger sister's name is Shion.
I don't know. I've never heard of her. I never met her when I went to Mii-chan's house.
Yeah, that. You know, I'm the only one that lives with Granny. Shion lives at the family home in Okinomiya. We're not that close. So yeah, she doesn't come here too often. Rena's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. Well, it's not a lie. Please believe me. As she said, yeah, I believe you, a smile suddenly blossomed on Rena's face.
Rena wants to meet her. I'll go and see her sometime. What store is she working at? What store?
That is... she's getting more tangled in her little web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues. Sorry! I have to get to work. Later! Rena, Kei-chan, see you tomorrow! Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. Alright, I'm gonna go into spoiler time right now, because there's something I really want to discuss here. So, starting now. Okay. This might be a dumb thought, because I could still be fucking wrong about this. But, even though this arc is so similar to Arc 5, I don't remember the name of it, I still think it's probably technically completely possible that Mion goes insane in this arc while Shion goes insane in Arc 5. It could, well no, it could just be that that's Shion. Ooh. Well, regardless. If that's Mion, that's Mion. If that's Shion, that's Shion. Either way, that, assuming that that girl there, whether it's Mion or Shion, goes insane with Hinamizawa syndrome, I'm doing a little thinky back to Onikakushi. Because you know how throughout Onikakushi, Keiichi was scared of Rena? The way Mion, or Shion, whichever one it was talking there, was very... She seemed super flustered, you know? Like, almost scared of telling the truth. So, methinks, she's got Hinamizawa syndrome already. I don't know how early on they get it, because the festival hasn't even happened yet, and Keiichi didn't even show any signs of going absolutely mad. Well, no, that's not true. Keiichi had been showing signs since, like, the very beginning. Like, whenever he asks Rena or Mion about incidents or curses, they're just like, their demeanor totally changes. Instead of being all cutesy, they're just like, no, nothing like that ever happened. So, yeah. I think she's seeing stars, you know? I think she's seeing, creepy Rena. I'm like 95% sure that Shion or Mion there already has the syndrome and is afraid of Rena. I do also remember, actually, come to think of it, Rena and Keiichi, I think, survive for... They either completely survive this arc, or they don't die until, like... No. Okay, no, Keiichi does die in this arc. I do remember that. I don't know if Rena does, but I do know that before Keiichi dies, there's a scene where Rena and Keiichi go to the Sonozaki house, and they confront Mion, who could be Shion, about everything that's going on. They confront her about... fuck. Yeah, just about everything that's going on. So, that's just a scene that I remember conceptually in my mind. So it could be that Mion or Shion at that point is already looking at Rena, and possibly even Keiichi, as being absolutely banana wackos insane. Because the problem with Keiichi being the protagonist is that he has no sprites. Everything's from his perspective. Well, no, he's gotta have sprites later on. That's for sure. Or at least he has sprites for promotional reasons. Because Arc 6, his sprite, is in the banner on Steam. So like how Rena's is in Onikakushi, Mion's in Watanagashi. I think it's Satoko in 3 and Rika in 4. Shion in 5. Then Keiichi in 6. Then Hanyu in 7, Takano in 8. So, yeah. So Keiichi doesn't have sprites right now, at least. He might later on, if that's not just a promotional image. But I don't remember what arcs are from whose perspectives. I'm pretty sure the next arc is also from Keiichi's perspective. The 5th one is not, I'm pretty sure. So we might see Keiichi in that arc being creepy to Shion, you know? The same way Rena and Mion were to Keiichi in arc in Onikakushi. So, yeah, even though there's haha funny music right now, I think shit's terrifying right now for Mion or Shion, whoever was there. I'm gonna assume it's Shion, because of the fact that Arc 5 is basically the exact same as this arc, but told from Shion's perspective. And it's got like all the same story beats. Rika and Satoko dying. Keiichi dying at the end, I think? Keiichi might not die at the end of the 5th arc. He definitely dies at the end of this arc. And I don't know if Shion falls off. Shion falls off the apartment building at the end of, or maybe it's a hospital, at the end of Arc 5 and dies. I don't know if that happens in this arc, but we'll see. There's also more characters that get introduced between now and then also. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. Welcome back. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape.
Mii-chan was kinda cute. I wonder why?
Rena giggled in amusement. Alright. Home sweet home, time to eat some fucking granola bar. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? Technically? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. Oh, as I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. Seemed I had a guest. Oishi. Nope. Come on in. It's open. I directed my listless voice at the door. Oh, hi. I did not expect you.
Good afternoon. Huh? Kei-chan, what are you doing?
See, my guess was Mion, or rather, Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway. Is that Shion? Wait, why? I thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here.
I heard from my sister. Because of co-activities today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right?
Yeah, and it was a lot of trouble. Satoko spilled my pot, and you stole my rice.
But I'm Shion.
She grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was the younger twin right now. Okay, I'm going back into spoiler time for a second. Starting now. What the fuck is going on? I don't remember Keiichi being this suspicious of Mion and Shion. Like, does he think that they are the same person? And that, like, Mion pretends to be Shion or something? That's... well, because they are different people. That is a fact. They are without a doubt different people. That's not to say that we've never seen them in the same room yet. So it could just be that it's always been Mion or Shion this entire chapter so far. Just by coincidence. So, yeah. But this is also weird that she's showing up here. I'm pretty sure at this point that it's been Shion the whole time. So, yeah. We haven't seen Mion at all. in this chapter, I guess. I don't know why, but we haven't, so. Where would she even fucking be? She's not already dead, is she? Because I'm pretty sure Shion or Mion. Oh no, Mion. If Mion goes insane this arc, then she's not dead, obviously. But I don't know. It's weird. This arc's a very weird one. But, like when you put Mion and Shion in the center, it makes it a lot more confusing. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. There was another game I played with twins in it, right? As, like, prominent characters, right? Am I remembering wrong? I believe there was. Was there? I can't remember. On the channel, I mean. Maybe. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, technically, because there's, like, a million Soras, but that doesn't count. Ventus and Roxas, no. Unless they pull some shenanigans with them later on, but they're not twins, they're just... Well, Roxas just looks like Ventus, that's all, or whatever. Alright, spoiler time over. Welcome back. I'm frickin' losing my mind with some of this stuff. So, yeah. Sorry. What's up? Did you bring something for me to eat?
Oh my. It's somehow disappointing that you hit the nail right on the head, but here.
With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her back.
Huh?
You really brought something to eat? Thanks!
There is still some of the ground beef left over from what my sister brought to school. I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you'd want it. Am I bothering you?
Not even a bit. I'm really happy. Can I really eat this? Quick spoiler time, okay? Starting now. I thought they said they live in different houses. The mask is slipping. Welcome back. I think I already read this whole line. Nice smug expression. Is that meant to be smug or happy? Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she just put on... Sneaking a look inside the box to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right?
Jeez. I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself.
Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments. I don't mind at all. I want to chow down on it, but thanks from the bottom of my heart.
It's not something to be so thankful about that your nose has to run.
Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily. There's not much, but do you want to come in? I can probably make some tea or something.
Sorry. Maybe some other time. I'm on my way to work.
Oh, that's right. She did say that before.
Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please.
Of course. It would only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious.
Well then, I'll take my leave. One last thing.
Shion grew red again as she looked down once more.
During that contest with the curry, my sister took your rice without permission, right? My sister fools around too much, so sometimes she gets carried away. She wasn't doing it just to be mean.
Hey, it's not like I mind that too much. There are no grudges when it comes to club activities, after all. In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment. Could you tell that to Mion for me?
Yes. I think my sister will be very happy to hear that. Well then, I have to go.
Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento box that she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. But really, I don't think she would go so far as putting a needle in there. Great. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right, That was Shion, not Mion. So there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry. Shion. No. Mion. When she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. Oh, okay, sure. Fine, go ahead. Have a frickin' like 20-minute chapter. Let me guess. Tips. Yep. It was delicious. Okay. Oh, achievement unlocked, food for thought. Cool. Alright. Hey, Mion. Here. What is it, Kei-chan? I thrust the bento box she'd given me yesterday at her face. It's the bento box you gave me yesterday. Thank you. It was delicious. Mion's face quickly flushed, bright, whatever. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave, so I decided to help her out. Oof. No, I'm... Jesus Christ. I don't even know if that happens this arc, but seriously? I'm sorry for not going into spoiler time sometimes when I say stuff like that, but like... Jesus. Listen, I was pretty hungry yesterday. Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box. This is that box. I made sure to wash it clean. Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute. So, what did you think? You two are like peas in a pod. You're twins, right? Obviously you'd look the same. Not that. Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion. I'm even fucking it up. But the bento? Oh, of course. It was delicious. Really? I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, then it's objectively good. You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet. Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright? Okay. Tell Shion, right? I will. I think she'll be happy. We're going along with Shion having given it to me, not Mion, aren't we? Yeah, her laugh, it came from deep down, and it sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely, I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise. Kei-chan, there's something inside. Huh? Wow. She opened it? The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands. What'd you put in there? Well, my mother told me to put them in as thanks. I didn't come up with it or anything. Don't get the wrong idea. It's so pretty. Oh, candy. Candy. Wow, who says candy's pretty? I mean, sure, but... There was a handful of candies, neatly wrapped in paper, inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who had given me the food. Then she told me that something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to, because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that. Well, that's what happened. I mean, I was so embarrassed it felt like fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my mom, she put them in there. Besides, You're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion? Those are for Shion, okay? Right. You're right. Okay. I'll be sure to tell Shion. I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end. Tip's not over, apparently.
Mii-chan, you look sort of cozy today. Did something happen? Did it? Perhaps she's caught a fever? The red in her face is probably due to the increased body temperature. Hey, Rika, why are you petting my head? Satoko, I'm sure you'll be able to catch fever soon enough.
Pet. Great bet, guys. So that tip probably just existed to be like, hey, this person you've seen the whole arc is the same person. Which I guess creates the sense of doubt in a first-time reader that Shion even exists, I guess. So that's something. Continue. I might have explained this before, but phys ed at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have some sort of curriculum for this? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability?
I have no idea what you're saying, Keiichi-san. It's rather difficult to understand. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class.
Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that. But do you really think us country race kids would lag behind in physical ability?
We're better athletes than you would think, Keiichi.
Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game is at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's 4th period, and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? As we began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Do you really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. Which means, is it going to start again? Now! Just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Just as I thought, it's come to this. What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. I have to get my brain into gear.
Rena thinks that we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start.
Rena knows what's up. I've prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. But before she could do that...
I'm sorry. I have something that I wanted to do.
Of all people, it was Rika-chan announcing her non-participation. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What? Huh? What's the matter? Are you not feeling well?
Oh, that's right. Mii-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's right. It's this Sunday. Rika is in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately, so my arms hurt.
I see. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point in doing anything if we can't get everybody together. Today, let's just take it easy.
I'm very sorry, but I'll try my best. Yeah, good luck. We'll be cheering you on.
When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika-chan and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everybody was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something?
Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that.
Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by Shrine Maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom did say something about it during dinner the other day.
The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively.
I see. But Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is this something like the Lantern Festival where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, is, as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river.
The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets, so it'd be something like a futon memorial. They also pile futons up on the altar.
I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Ah, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then. Then the Shrine Maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Rena indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause.
And you see, that Shrine Maiden performing the ritual is Rika-chan!
Oh? So Rika-chan is a Shrine Maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her.
Right. Rika-chan in a Shrine Maiden outfit. Huh? So cute!
Certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a Shrine Maiden then. That would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work.
The Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite, and it's really heavy for Rika-chan.
Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe?
It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with a mochi mallet.
Wait a minute. That's way too heavy! I don't know how heavy that is. I'm thinking like a sledgehammer then? That's, pretty heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me.
It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble.
Well, it's a once-in-a-year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? And the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying.
You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works. Okay? So just leave her be.
Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best, Rika Furude. I'm cheering for you. Well then, I climbed up onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. Hooray! Hooray! Rika-chan. In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. So you're just going to sleep after all? Yes. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. Ugh, I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes.
Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today.
Basically, you always eat like a pig. But today was on a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. Well disciplined, or something like that.
Ah, yeah. Rena thinks so too. Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks.
Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality. And I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey! Sonozaki-san, Maebara-kun, we're in the middle of class. How far did you get, Sonozaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely. Doing alright. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion. Looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard.
Appearances can be deceiving. In other words, actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality.
You say some interesting things. Responding to Rena's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If it went by what Rena literally said, then that would be the case. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale.
Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled and always... Yup. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay?
That's Satoko. Acting so cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. Uh-oh. Where are we going? Hey, Satoko.
What is it?
I don't even know. Fucking great. Okay, dude. Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away.
Oni-sama, why are you running away?
Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap.
That's so mean! Oni-sama, you meanie!
So sorry. I didn't mean to be mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. Clank. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Well, that's... I know this is in your head and all, dude, but...
Oh, you fell for it! Now for the next part!
Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. Blocks? Okay. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me, was a giant guillotine.
I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you?
Not really. Not at all.
That's a lie. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm gonna be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball.
How can my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Spoiler time! Starting now! Ah! Yeah, that scene earlier with, Shion, Keiichi and Rena definitely was, a bit yikes and yoinky, you know? That's a lie. I always kind of thought that whenever Rena went insane in Higurashi, it was because it wasn't technically her. Not in that it was a different physical being, or even a different being as far as consciousness goes, but that it's either distorted by someone else having Hinamizawa syndrome, or because she has Hinamizawa syndrome, but she only does that in one arc, I'm pretty sure. And it's not this one. So, yeah, I thought her speech pattern completely changed too, which it kinda does when it's distorted. Well, no, well, yeah, but the distortions don't really change it that much though. Cause like, that whole line there, if she said that in Oni Kakushi, Keiichi would be like, how the fuck does she know what I'm thinking? Ah, scary, she's gonna kill me. But instead, now he's just like, god damn it, why the fuck can she read my mind? Stupid and lame, she's overpowered as fuck. But no, it's just because the fourth wall has text written on it that anyone in the game can read, Keiichi. Welcome back. Sorry. Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, I can't read. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying Oni-sama, I'd hug her. Tightly. I could get used to that.
Keiichi-kun, you're drooling.
Sorry. Then, how about Rika-chan? Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? I don't have face cam, but just imagine, like, eyebrows going, you know? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it? Evading things deftly? I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Rena managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, nah, you shouldn't say something like that.
When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty, with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool?
Burncastle? Well, Burncastle's not exactly beautiful with men wrapped around her finger, but I don't know, maybe she wants to be. Because as far as I know, spoiler time again. Starting now. Burncastle's supposed to be an amalgamation of the Rikas from all the failed universes, right? So she's more like the worst case scenario older Rika, I suppose, right? So yeah. That's about it. Welcome back. Rena said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Rena and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat.
So cute! So cute!
Rena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader, Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Rena's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied appearances. What you're saying is, that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person?
Mi-chan is a good person.
Oh well, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is...
Yup, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun.
Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Rena smiled even more brightly. No what?
Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy.
Okay, that's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Rena said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod. Although, it's the same way it is right now.
But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine.
Rena? How much did Mion pay you exactly?
That's not true! Jeez, I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? You know?
Rena began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around.
Mii-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's actually a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun.
Rena's gaze focused off into the distance, beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job, it was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly?
Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. Begin to imagine!
As if to say it was our little secret, Rena held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. Humph. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. Bruh. Just say that you like her, dude. Like, clang clang. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. Is that his only job? The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments.
Whoa! It looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down!
Well then, that means even Rena.
Huh? What do you mean?
Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too?
Huh? Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? How?
The Rena Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl.
Really? Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess.
If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her... And if you were really the opposite... Just try saying it, I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Rena is...
Uh-huh. Rena is?
Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Rena, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort.
That's no fair, Keiichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. How?
Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Rena's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Rena! Kei-chan! Let's go home! Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Oh wait, no, I probably shouldn't read this now because I should be ending the episode at this point. Because, you know what they say, you gotta eat 3 squared meals a day. So I'm gonna eat, frickin', I don't know. I'm gonna cook a whole ham and just cut a cube out of it and eat it. Square meals, you know? So that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button. And if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye! Yeah.